All right, guys, what's happening? What's happening? It is Monday, May 3rd, 2021. And this morning, we're going to be talking about why delegation is so important. It's not just one area of your life, not just business, but every aspect of your life. Delegation is a really important skill to learn if you plan to be an effective leader. And here's newsflash, we are all leaders. So let's get started talking about this.
It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
All right, guys, what's happening? Good morning to you and happy Monday. Well, it's the first working day of May. So hopefully you guys are planned out, ready to rock and roll, and ready to have a great month for the month of May. I know we are. We've got a lot of stuff going on here at the Payment Group, tons of stuff going on in Top Contractor School. We've got an event coming up next month. We've got a lot going on at Lead Revenue. Brett Sutherland, CEO of Lead Revenue, my business partner, will be speaking at that event. So we got a lot of stuff going on, guys. And hopefully that's the same for you. And so that leads me to this topic, which is why delegation is so important. We're going to talk about that this morning. And I really wanted to share this with you guys because I think that a lot of people, really don't understand the concept of delegation. They look at it from a completely different view than what it should be. Delegation really as a whole is a way for people to grow, right? It is, and in a lot of cases, and I remember this vividly from corporate America, like, when you were a leader and you tried to delegate tasks or you tried to delegate something to somebody on your team, people looked at you like you were trying to get out of work or you were trying to do something, you weren't trying to do what you were supposed to do. And that is a really bad way to look at delegation. It's a really bad way to look at just the importance of having everybody involved in what you're doing. And, one thing that I wrote down this morning as soon as I started thinking about this topic is that you will never achieve your true potential if you don't learn how to delegate. Because as you grow as a professional, you're going to figure out that you can't do it all. And you have to have people around you that are capable, willing, and excited to take over some of those tasks that you are able to delegate to them, right? So you will never achieve your true potential if you don't learn how to delegate. The second thing that I will say about delegation, I think it's really, really important for us to realize that people on our teams and even our families, look at it from personal or business, they want to feel empowered. And delegation makes them feel that way. They want to feel important. They want to feel needed. They want to feel, part of things. And so when you are able to give them tasks that you used to do as a leader, that helps them develop. It makes them feel empowered. It makes them feel important. So don't get it twisted, guys. This is a really important topic for development of your people. And so if you're a business owner, and I see this quite frequently, if you're a business owner that constantly has people, churning out of your business, you probably want to look at how much control are you trying to keep versus how much you're willing to give up, how much you're willing to delegate, and then let those people kind of grow into those roles. It's really, really important for the development of a business for people to feel empowered, for people to feel needed, and for them to not feel micromanaged, right? Delegation is not about, giving somebody a task and then looking over their shoulder at every single move that they to make sure that they're doing it right. Delegation is showing somebody the way, handing off a task that used to be yours or that could be, done by somebody else, and you could use your time doing something more effective, that you are an expert at. Maybe there's tasks that you do. There's a lot that I do every day that I probably shouldn't be doing. Like, they're not in my expertise. And so I try, as our team builds out, I try to look for that person that is good at that thing, that is exceptional in that particular area and actually enjoys the tasks that maybe I don't, right? So the next thing on my list here is cross-training your people. Part of delegation is cross-training, right? It's getting people into different positions within your company so that, if something happens or you need some help in one particular area, you've got those people available to you and they're well trained, right? So cross-training your people is absolutely critical to your company's success. Everybody who has ever gone through this process of cross-training always has positive feedback, right? Whether it's in our world, whether it's on an asphalt paving crew and having everybody kind of understand, at least at a high level, what the other roles on the crew is, then, it's really critical for us to understand for two reasons. Number one, it's great if somebody's not around that somebody can fill in for them. But number two, you can put yourself in other person's shoes, right? You're able to kind of walk a mile in their role, which, from the outside in, some roles seem simple, but when you get into doing it and you're not familiar with how to do it, that can look a whole lot different, doesn't it? And so when you think about that, cross-training has multiple benefits to it. But again, delegation is key. Teach people how to do the job that you're doing. And you'll put yourself in an incredible position as a leader to have a team of really well-rounded people around you. The last thing that I've got on my list here is future leaders are developed through delegating leadership tasks and then allowing them to grow into that role. So, if you're looking at somebody within your organization, and we have quite a few of them in my company that are future leaders, right? That are, people that do a great job. They have all the characteristics of leadership, right? They show up, they work hard, they're honest, they have integrity, they have values, they have, all those things, all those qualities that you look for in leadership. Well, if those people have leadership qualities, it is very important that you start to bring them into leadership type conversations, showing them what leadership type activities look like. Like, what are the tasks that you do as a leader? Some of the things that I try to do, like I'll bring Eli into my office. Eli's in the office here with me in Pittsburgh, and I'll show him things about our business that, somebody in his role in another company may not see, but it's important to me for him to know how important he is to our company. And so how do I show him that? Well, I show him that by developing him as a leader, right? So that down the road, when he steps into this position of leadership, nothing is foreign to him. He understands how it works. I have open conversations with him about things that are going on in the company so that he can understand all the different aspects of how it looks. And so it's important for you to get those people involved, for you to maybe hand off some of the tasks that are really important that they've seen you do, because again, they want to feel empowered. They want to feel important. They want to feel like they're part of the leadership team. Even if in this moment they don't have that title, it doesn't mean that they're not part of the leadership team. And so delegating them leadership related tasks is a way to kind of show your appreciation. It's a way to push your company forward in a big way where, you start to develop all these people. And this is, by the way, this is the same within your family, right? My buddy, Stephen Kuhn, who wrote the book, Unleash Your Humble Alpha, which if you guys haven't read that, it's an incredible book, and it sounds like a male dominated title, but it is absolutely not. I would encourage you to read that book, but he talks about, your personal life being your life enterprise. So, forget about personal and professional. Like, your personal life is a business as well, right? It's no different, and you have to run it like a business. And so if you're not meeting with your spouse, if you're not taking the time to plan out your future yourself, if you're not having those conversations with your family of where you're going, well, then how do you expect everybody to be on the same page, right? And so within your life enterprise, your personal life, you should be delegating things as well, right? If they're looking up to mom and dad, your kids are looking up to mom and dad and saying, man, I want to be like them. My little 3-year-old, man, if I put a hat on, he goes to get a hat on, right? He goes to get his hat so he can put it on. And so as they grow up, you start to delegate those tasks to them that they've seen mom and dad do, right? And those are critical life skills that we teach people. And that we teach our kids and that we teach people that work with us. And it is important for us to realize that the knowledge and experience that we possess is only good if we pass it along. And so delegation is part of that, right? Delegation is part of that process of growing people. And you will see this a lot in business. There's a lot of small-minded people that hold on to tasks or hold on to information they don't want to delegate, or they delegate and then try to control the crap out of, what they delegate. And that's not a sign of solid leadership, right? It's a sign of a person that's really, worried about their own position, worried about somebody else maybe doing something better than them. And that's a tough thing to have in a business. So you have to really recognize that and communicate through that, so that because sometimes people are doing that and they don't even recognize the fact that they're doing it. And so, but delegation is critical, guys. It's critical for your own future, for your own success. And it is certainly critical for those people around you, right? And I think it's important to realize why you're delegating and also communicate that. So like when you're delegating something, if you just give it to somebody and you don't explain like what your intent is, that you genuinely want this person to understand this task, and you talk about their future, then they're going to feel like you're just dumping work on them, right? And that's not a place that we want to be. Easy for people to have that perception, because a lot of people don't do this very well. So when you start to delegate, it can seem like you're trying to get out of the work that you don't want to do, and you're just trying to dump stuff off to somebody else. But if you have a great conversation about that with someone, they're going to understand where you're coming from, right? And they're going to have a great opinion of why you're delegating something. And so I want you guys to think about that from the standpoint of like, how are you communicating? If you're transitioning tasks to people, how are you communicating that? Do you have a strategy of how that conversation sounds? And again, if you've got levels of leadership below you, you have to train the trainer, right? So if you've got people that have direct reports reporting to them and you're instructing them to delegate, you got to role play kind of through what this conversation sounds like, because a lot of people aren't experienced at it. And a lot of people, have not worked in environments where this was something that happened on a regular basis. And if it was, it could have been a bad experience. Like, somebody delegates something to you and then they tell you everything that you did wrong in that scenario, instead of, coaching you through, being shoulder to shoulder with people and trying to walk them through the whole process and kind of how it works. So this is a really important topic, guys. I hope that this helps you, gain some perspective on the whole concept of delegation and the whole concept of really just solid leadership, right? Like Leonard just said, he started delegating authority 3 to 4 years ago, and it has taken so much pressure and stress off. Absolutely, man. It's opened up more time for more important tasks for me. And by the way, the other part of this is, and I'm sure, you guys can relate to this. Leonard, you could probably relate to this. Sometimes when I'm delegating, I feel like, man, I don't want to dump my work on somebody else, right? Like, I don't want them to feel that way. And so I'm a little hesitant to delegate. And that's leadership development at a different level, because you have to realize what you have to delegate and what you should and shouldn't be doing as a leader to best benefit the future of your company, of your team, of yourself, for that matter. Like, you have to realize those things that you should be doing and that you shouldn't be doing. And leadership is about, it not always being easy or popular, but it being the right thing to do. And so I want you guys to think about that today. Think about some of the things that maybe you're doing right now that you could be handing off to someone else, having those conversations about why you want to hand this stuff off. And I think you get everybody in your company on the same page, and you always are pushing people to the next level, right? You're always kind of encouraging them to develop themselves and reach for that next level, whether it's, from line level to leadership or to a different elevation or level of leadership, right? So that's it for today, guys. Wishing you an awesome week, man. It's the first full work week here of May. So, make sure that you've got your plan in place of what this week's going to look like, what you want to get out of it. And That's it, guys. Wishing you an awesome week. Thank you, Quentin. Appreciate you, man. Levi, good morning, man. Todd, Trudy, Tammy, Vicky, John Rugg, Jared, Steve. My mom's on here. My parents are driving back from Myrtle Beach. Be safe, Mom and Dad. And I will see you guys again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. right here on Morning Perspective. Love you guys. Thanks for being here.